yourself for joining us all the way from ADEKUNLE in Ekiti State. Thank you so very much, sir. I would like to go to the microphone, the Dean of Education and the Host, to yourself for joining us all the way from ADEKUNLE in Ekiti State. Thank you so very much, sir. I would like to go to the microphone, the Dean of Education and the Host, to yourself for joining us all the way from ADEKUNLE in Ekiti State. Thank you so very much, sir. I would like to go to the microphone, the Dean of Education and the Host, to yourself for joining us all the way from ADEKUNLE in Ekiti State. Thank you so very much, sir. I would like to go to the microphone, the Dean of Education and the Host, to yourself for joining us all the way from ADEKUNLE in Ekiti State. Thank you so very much, sir. I would like to go to the microphone, the Dean of Education and the Host, to yourself for joining us all the way from ADEKUNLE in Ekiti State. Thank you so very much, sir. I would like to go to the microphone, the Dean of Education and the Host, to yourself for joining us all the way from ADEKUNLE in Ekiti State. Thank you so very much, sir. I would like to go to the microphone, the Dean of Education and the Host, to yourself for joining us all the way from ADEKUNLE in Ekiti State. Thank you so very much, sir. I would like to go to the microphone, the Dean of Education and the Host, to yourself for joining us all the way from ADEKUNLE in Ekiti State. Thank you so very much, sir. I would like to go to the microphone, the Dean of Education and the Host, to yourself for joining us. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us all the way from ADEKUNLE in Ekiti State. Thank you so very much, sir. I would like to go to the microphone, the Dean of Education and the Host, to give his opening remarks. Professor, welcome, sir.
The Vice Chancellor, ably represented by DVC Akkad, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, participants, all dignitaries here present, the guest speakers, and students, ladies and gentlemen. Research is the key activities of any lecturer in a university in order to develop intellectually and to national development. Faculty of Education is one of the valuable faculties in Akubabako State, Nigeria. The faculty mounted her first national conference between 27th and 30th July 2015. To be the LLC co-chairman, and our chairman that time was Professor. The conference was a great success under the able leadership of the then Faculty of Education Dean, Professor S. The faculty was unable to have another one since then due to a lot of challenges in the university and the nation at large, which had greatly affected the organization of another conference. Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah for making today a reality. This year conference is security, economy, and education for national development, which will be held between 13th and 15th June 2023. That's is to consider in the presentation of papers for the conference. A reputable professor from University of Environmental and Sustainable Development, Somalia, Eastern Region, Ghana, shall be the keynote titled Environmental Education and Sustainable Economic Development. Is the Vice Chancellor of the University, When another reputable and renowned professor from our dear country will deliver the lead paper address based on the theme of the conference. Professor T.O. Adela, Vice Chancellor of Bambilio University of Education, Science and Technology. The other lead paper presenters are Professor the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration of this university, who will be presenting a paper on essential workplace security. The third lead paper presenter is Professor S. the Oba Kalasui of Akoi Land. The paper is titled Cycle Community Suitable Economy for National Development. There are 150 the delegates shall have opportunity to present their papers based on different sub-themes. The Faculty of Education contributed greatly to the organization of this conference. I really appreciate you all. I also appreciate the LOC chairperson, Dr. Mrs. Bio Ajida and her team. They have done well to ensure that the success of today's program is a reality. I also thank the Vice Chancellor, Professor Ige, and his team for giving us his support to make today a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome to this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. The Queen of Education, Professor Moshood, has those seated at the back to please move forward. Please occupy the empty spaces in front of you. Move forward. Move forward. Move forward. Promote yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, because we are mindful of our time, especially Professor Eric Miyako Samson will be joining us online, and he's going to come online from 11:20 a.m. We are very mindful of the law of things. But without much ado, let me bring to the microphone the Vice Chancellor to give his opening remark and to formally declare this conference open. Sir.
The Dean of the Faculty of Education, the Supreme of the Faculty, the lead papers representatives, professors in the faculty, heads of the department, to this conference, which includes staff of the faculty and academics and researchers from all over Nigeria and great Nigerian students. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, who is because of other pressing university assignments, I stand before you to present his address. Organizing workshops, seminars, and conferences at faculties in ADEKUNLE University is an indispensable academic culture which stands us out among others. Our drive in to us sustaining our proud legacy as a multiple award-winning and the best university that must be accomplished through the meaningful research outputs emanating from this magnitude. Going down the memory lane, the Faculty of Education held the first international conference on the 27th to 30th July, year 2014, with the team promoting entrepreneurship opportunities for sustainable development in the 21st century. It's a huge success. The university management is highly delighted with the second organized 8 years after the first edition. This permit me also to said that this is second and even of course the conferences will take place. But the challenges that we had. So I thank the faculty for
control. The theme of the conference, security, economy, and education for national development, is highly thoughtful and relevant to the trends where security and economic challenges are globally becoming threats to nations and the education industry. Considering this theme, the conference is providing a platform for discussing business movements on a wide range of topics, which constitute one of the greatest challenges facing the world today. By looking in this direction, the Faculty of Education has again distinguished itself as the foundational hub for psychological and sociological thoughts underpinning education developments. Policies are incubated. Perhaps that is why, in most cases, the Faculty of Education is regarded as the mother of all faculties in the university system. I thought the couple and then I mean, if you also permit me to also add my own clapping because that I have a PGD in education. Ladies and gentlemen, while I trust that the knowledge and ideas that will be gathered at this conference will bring to national and global challenges in the area of security and economic development, I warmly welcome the lead paper presenter, Professor Olufemi Education, Science and Technology, Ekiti State, Nigeria. Also, gladly welcome keynote address presenters, Professor Eric Iyaku Samson, Vice Chancellor, University of Environment and Sustainable Development, Samari, and Professor His Royal Majesty Oba Ese Abushehan, the Kalwaswe of Akoland, Ondo State, and all participants to this conference. With the presence of these academic giants in the field of education, I'm aware and more than confident the conference will be an excellently rewarding one in the history of the Faculty of Education at the university. I congratulate the Dean of the Faculty of Education, Prof. M.A. Hassan, for organizing this purposeful conference. I also commend the organizing committee for putting all the quality papers to be presented by distinguished scholars as a committee to a book of the proceedings in a way that is capable of provoking relevant stakeholders to carry actions and stimulating the interests of the coming generations in the field of education. On tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Olufemi at the second international conference of the Faculty of Education, ADEKUNLE welcome. Thank you, Mr. President. We appreciate it. Thank you. Now I want to invite all registered participants and delegates, as well as members of the top table here, for a photo session with the Vice Chancellor and the Dean of Education. Once again, you are warmly welcome. Now we can start our session. Thank you. Yes, sir. The Dean of Faculty of Education, distinguished conferee, ladies and gentlemen, we are excited while we allow our presenters to get ready, and we're going to have students of our performing arts entertainers. ADEKUNLE AJASIN University is poised for academic excellence as well as culture and entertainment. And this conference is deliberate in blending all these attributes of this university. So the Department of Performing Arts will be coming to entertain our distinguished conferee as well as members of the university. Please put your hands together as I welcome students of the Performing Arts Department.
Duly observed. The Department of Performing Arts is here this morning to present a short play titled Igo Beta. Shebi Igo Beta? Igo Beta. Igo Beta, abi? Igo Beta. Take one. 2, 3, action.
are not coming. But where is the money? Money! Our teachers are not well paid. Our teachers are not well paid. They are not going to go for bigger masters. Our graduates are roaming around the streets unemployed. Do you have a job? I have no job. Are you not a graduate? I'm a graduate. Do you have a job? No. They have no job. And that is why I am excited not to send any of my children to school.
No. That is a big mistake. You know I'm a teacher, and I know the value of education. If your child has a graduate cannot get a job today, opportunity will surely come tomorrow. Hear this very well. You know, education is a key subject, and anybody without education will lose important opportunity in life.
That is true.
Bless you. Distinguished professors, Presi, in this examination, we have our distinguished Deputy Vice Chancellor of Administration, who is also the father in our faculty. Please welcome me to the welcome, sir. I want to welcome to our top table our distinguished professors who please welcome with me first, Professor Georgia Akifolani. Please welcome to the top table. Department. Let's get clapping, please. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. I want to welcome to the top table another department is also a full chairman, the head of the Department of Human Kinetics and Health Education, Dr. George Ayubara. Professor G. Ayubara. And the last but not least for now, another head of the department who is also a full chair in the Senate, the head of the department, the council in the department. Welcome with me, Professor Koyoshi, so very well too, Professor Akomalafe, please. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are working with time. At 11:30 Nigerian time, we intend to have Professor Eric lecture. And so, right now, we are going to take his citation, and that will be delivered by Dr. A.I. Oyetaki. Please also time from Dr. Oyetaki.
To lay on the existing protocol that has been established.
Professor Eric Yako Samson is supposed to be online, so we can see him when I'm doing the citation, but because of time and the logistics in time, I am Dr. A.I. Oyetaki. I've been studying the responsibility of the citation of each professor of Nigerian. Professor Yako Samson is at Akwa Secondary School near Kakura, Abakapa Methodist Primary School, block in Absosan, Primary. And people show this is the time. And finally, we attended university practice for his GC ordinary level certificate and continue to Federal College of Education, where he had his initial teacher training education and graduated with certificate A. The two awards certificate A. He holds a bachelor of education in psychology, masters of philosophy, guidance and counseling, masters of arts, human resource management from the University of Cape Coast in Ghana. Ably represented by the JVC Amazing. It will interest you that Professor Eric came to Nigeria for his PhD program at the University of Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. Where he graduated with the Doctor of Philosophy, National Guidance and Counseling from the University. He was the foundation dean, Faculty of Education, College of Education Studies, University of Cape Coast. And he served in various capacities. Taught courses and serves as facilitator at national and international workshops in counseling, resource management, and organizational behavior and change. His research interests include teacher education, issues in multiculturalism and entrepreneurial. Eric's major research focuses on school counseling and the implementation evaluation and evaluation services at all levels in Ghana's educational institutions. The studies also investigate about improving careers among the teen youth and thereby tackling the age of youth unemployment. He is a member of teams research on issues in teacher education. He has now several graduate students at the Master of Philosophy and Doctor of Philosophy and published widely in locally, nationally, and international referred journals. He's a vice chancellor. This education was the chairman of Ghana's National Teaching Council from 2017 to 2018. Eric led the agency of the Ministry of Education in major reforms nationwide in the teaching profession, the standard of teaching by the provision of a quality assurance process to support the delivery in pre-tertiary institutions in a professional and competent manner by mindset teachers who are graduated from recognized teachers. The National Teaching Council to introduce and organize licensing examinations. The Ghana Teacher Licensure Examinations (GTLE). And that professionalization. That as a result of success for the universities within and outside. Professor Eric academic total course across various editorial activities. He is a member of specialized committees and editor in chief and editorial on 30th May 2022. Eric was awarded by under Federation of Teaching Regulatory Authorities. I believe it deserves a hand. Recognition of distinguished contribution to development of teaching profession and the the fourth person in Ghana to receive such award since its inception in 2000. This Ghanaian and Chancellor of Refuge is a licensed and certified counselor and council. He is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Administration and Money Consultant. He has qualifications as a Chartered Administrator and Chartered Money Consultant. He is also an accredited institution of public relations, Ghana, and a member of Chartered Institute of Human Resources and other international bodies. Sir, it was the first academic giant in his quest for spiritual equilibrium has been a teacher of this church, Ghana, since 1995. Eric is married to Margaret, the chief executive officer of Central Region, Ghana, and they have two young adults. Professor Yao Sanchi was appointed vice chancellor of the Ministry of Development in Somalia on the 4th June 2020. Where he was at foundation as chancellor. The vice chancellor, professors, HODs, and everybody else said, I have one of this time to this conference to give you to address speaker, Professor Eric Samson. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. A.I. for the citation of our key speaker. Video will need your attention in this regard. It's a virtual presentation, and the presenter needs to call our attention to order. So we need to just follow with more sense of commitment. While representing, we would really like to introduce in absentia the former Professor N. Just put our hands together for her. I also want to recognize the chairperson, the group of down. We also need to recognize the co-chairperson, Dr. Ola. Thank you for coming. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking the keynote address. Please, can we go in the next few minutes to take
host, distinguished guests, conference participants, students. I'm happy to be part of it.
So very question time, the answer from you may have to talk this out.
As students, I'm happy to be part of Chairman, Vice Chancellor, host, distinguished guests, conference participants, students. I'm happy to be part of the second hours of the Faculty of Education at ADEKUNLE AJASIN University, Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria. I wish to express my gratitude to the organizers for considering nominating me to deliver the keynote address and the administration led by the Vice Chancellor for accepting my nomination. I see this as a step towards a future collaboration with our universities. Coming July, that is next month, August and September, my university has an international conference in each of us, and I will be able to invest in these conferences. The call for in the spirit of brotherhood or sisterhood or good neighborliness, the various LOCs or Africa. Information on these conferences available on my university's website at www.ues.edu.g. From the early 1960s and continue to major topical issues of development and human survival on the planet. Education for to help people understand the interdependence of life on Earth, the effect of activities and decisions relating to resources, which foster or impede sustainable development. It is concerned with developing people's awareness that enabling them to be involved effectively in sustainable development. Environmental education has essential to bring attention of all people across the globe the need for collective actions to sustainably exploit available resources, the need for sustainable economic development, as there are many aspects of the platforms and other strategies for collective analysis. Human health, environmental resources, and livelihoods of the vulnerable groups across diverse societies. Education is a field characterized by paradox, where people have the agency and importance of learning to live in sustainable ways, and education holds a priority position in formal schooling around the world that this will service. Education as a dynamic and complex field for study and interpretation. Relating to complex issues that at times themselves defy human understanding. It is a field characterized by the urgency and the importance of living in sustainable ways of conserving what's natural resources and traditions. Not only education in the United Kingdom to a Scottish professor of botany and the originator of country planning, Sir Patrick Gates. He is regarded by many as being the first to make that all-important link to the quality of the environment and the quality of education. The first recorded use of the term environmental education in the 1965 at Keele University with the investigating concept of the activities for education. This conference was significant for UK in that it marked the first occasion where came together and led to the establishment of the Council for Environmental Education (CE). First met in July 1968. CE was founded as one to facilitate the development of the theory and practice of environmental education, and facilitate its applications in all spheres, and 3, to monitor the progress of environmental education and assess its effectiveness. While the first attributed use of the term environmental education in the UK in 1965 conference, internationally, it is claimed that it was first used in Paris in 1948 by Thomas Fisher at the meeting of the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, while Schooler suggests that the first painters by Paul and Percival Goodman in 1947, probably the reason in the history of setting the term environmental education was an IUCN UNESCO International meeting on environmental education in the school of 1970 at the Forest education was adopted as environmental education is the process of applying concepts in order to develop skills and attitudes necessary to understand and appreciate the interrelatedness of its structure and its biophysical surroundings. Environmental education also entails practice in decision making and a code of behavior about issues concerning environmental quality. Principle 19, Defense of the Human Environment, held in Stockholm, Sweden, declared that education in environmental matters for young as well as give due consideration for the underprivileged is essential. A key recommendation of this first world meeting of the government endorsed the need for environmental education, thus greatly enhancing its international status and its importance. Programs organized by the United Nations on various environmental issues of concern and continue to be a platform for environmental education of political leaders and share information among the right actors. The purpose of these conferences has contributed to encouraging global leaders social and economic challenges. Of using our data offering all solutions to that sector competition and identify root causes and for mainstream. These communities can be viewed as environmental education for leaders and experts. Those who follow the discussions at this meeting also become educated environmentally, become aware of what is actions to deal with environmental and social development issues. I would like to address among the conference on environmental education, which was organized by the United Nations Education, Scientific, Cultural, in collaboration with the UN Chairman, Vice Chancellor and Chief Hosts, distinguished guests, conference participants, students. I'm happy to be part of the second international conference of the Faculty of Education, ADEKUNLE, AJASIN University, Akoko, Ondo State, Nigeria. I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to the organizers for considering and nominating me to deliver a keynote address, and the university administration led by the Vice Chancellor for accepting my nomination. I see this as a step towards a future collaboration between our two universities. Coming July, that is next month, August and September, my university has an international conference in each of the months, and I wish to take this opportunity to invite you
to these conferences. The call for papers or abstracts have already gone out, but in the spirit of brotherhood or sisterhood or good neighborliness, the various LOCs could be encouraged to make way to accept additional papers or abstracts. Information on these conferences are available on my university's website at www.uest.edu.gh. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, environmental education and sustainable economic development issues have attracted the attention of the United Nations from the early 1960s and continue to be major topical issues of development and human survival on the planet. Education for sustainable development or sustainability aims to help people understand the interdependence of life on Earth, the effect of activities and decisions relating to resource use, and factors which foster or impede sustainable development. It is concerned with developing people's awareness, values, and attitudes, thus enabling them to be involved effectively in sustainable development. Environmental education has become essential to bring to the attention of all people across the globe the need for collective actions to sustainably exploit available limited resources for sustainable and inclusive economic growth. The need for sustainable economic development has been raised by many experts on various platforms and panel discussions for action to be taken on negative environmental practices to avert negative impacts associated with economic development ventures on human health, environmental resources, and livelihoods of the vulnerable groups across diverse societies. Environmental education is a field characterized by a paradox. While few will doubt the urgency and importance of learning to live in sustainable ways, environmental education holds nowhere near the priority position in formal schooling around the world that this will suggest. Environmental education may be considered as a dynamic and immensely complex field for study and interpretation. Indeed, it concerns itself with teaching and learning relating to complex issues that at times themselves defy human understanding. It is a field characterized by a paradox. Few will doubt the urgency and importance of living in sustainable ways of conserving the world's natural resources and of taking care of the earth so that future generations may not only meet their needs but also enjoy life on our planet. Attribute the founding of environmental education in the United Kingdom to a Scottish professor of botany and an originator of town and country planning, Sir Patrick Gates. He is regarded by many as being the first to make that all-important link between the quality of the environment and the quality of education. The first recorded use of the term environmental education in Britain may be traced to a conference held in 1965 at Keele University, Staffordshire, with the purpose of investigating conservation of the countryside and its implications for education. This conference was significant for the UK in that it marked the first occasion where educationists and environmentalists came together and led to the establishment of the Council for Environmental Education, CEE, which first met in July 1968. The CEE was founded as a focus for organizations involved or concerned with environmental education, having three broad goals. 1, to facilitate the development of the theory and practice of environmental education. 2, to promote the concept of environmental education and facilitate its applications in all spheres. And 3, to monitor the progress of environmental education and assess its effectiveness. Whilst the first attributed use of the term environmental education in the UK was at the Keele 1965 conference, internationally, it is claimed that it was first used in Paris in 1948 by Thomas Pritchard at a meeting of the International Union for the conservation of nature and natural resources. Whilst Wheeler suggests that the first term appeared in the book Communitas by Paul and Percival Goodman, published in 1947. Probably the greatest landmark in the history of attempting to define the term environmental education was an IUCN UNESCO International Working Meeting on Environmental Education in the School of Curriculum, held in 1970 at the Forrester Institute, USA. There, an influential and what might be described as a classic definition of environmental education was adopted, as environmental education is the process of recognizing values and clarifying concepts in order to develop skills and attitudes necessary to understand and appreciate the interrelatedness among man, his culture, and his biophysical surroundings. Environmental education also entails practice in decision-making and self-formulation of a code of behavior about issues concerning environmental quality. Principle 19 of the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment, held in Stockholm, Sweden, declared that education in environmental matters for the younger generation as well as adults, giving due consideration for the underprivileged, is essential. A key recommendation of this First World Meeting on the State of the Environment endorsed the need for environmental education, thus greatly enhancing its international status and perceived importance. Global conferences organized by the United Nations on various environmental issues of concern to human survival and our planet have been and continue to be a major platform for environmental education of political leaders and sharing of information among the environmental experts. The purpose of these conferences has contributed to encouraging global leaders to work jointly on certain environmental, social, and economic challenges, fostering alliance between international governments that permits efficient means of reducing harmful environmental effects, offering fair laws and regulations for everybody to foster peace and deter competition at the expense of environmental health, and identifying root causes and for mainstreaming. These COP meetings can be viewed as environmental education for the world leaders and experts. Those who follow the discussions at this meeting also become educated environmentally, become aware of the global directions and actions to deal with environmental and socio-economic development issues. I want us to avert our minds to the world's first intergovernmental conference on environmental education, which was organized by the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, in collaboration with the UN Environment Programme, the Tbilisi Declaration 1997. Participants unanimously agreed on the important role of environmental education in the preservation and improvement of the world's environment, as well as in the sound and balanced development of the world's communities. Tbilisi Declaration provides the framework, principles, and guidelines for international education at all levels, that is local, national, regional, and international, and for all age groups, both inside and outside the formal school system. The declaration provided three main goals of environmental education, as to foster clear awareness of and concern about economic, social, political, and ecological interdependence in urban areas. Provide every person with opportunities to acquire the knowledge, values, attitudes, commitment, and skills needed to protect and improve the environment. Create new patterns of behavior of individuals, groups, and society as a whole towards the environment. Keating lists global environmental issues to include global population growth, poverty and inequality, food and agriculture, tropical deforestation, biological diversity, desertification and drought, freshwater bodies, oceans and coasts, energy, atmosphere, and climate, managing solid waste and sewage, hazardous substances, including nuclear waste and global security, and adds comment from Agenda 21. These are all important to facilitate economic development. Sustainable economic development, Mr. Chairman, connects environmental issues with opportunity for steady economic prosperity. Sustainable economic development should be seen as pathways to generate economic growth, sustainable business, and community development through innovation, efficiency, and conservation in the use and reuse of all natural and human resources to increase jobs, incomes, productivity, and competitiveness of countries and households. The ultimate goal is to achieve inclusive economic growth that protect the natural resources which are used as the base for economic productivity. In the era where climate change has affected almost all human endeavor, it is important to view sustainable economic development as an imperative to address the environment or climate crisis, offering the greatest economic opportunity of the 21st century and drawing lessons to inform environmental education and action. The academia is positioned to take the lead in creating the pathways and strategies for integrating sustainable economic development initiatives into national environmental education, development policies and frameworks, and program design and implementation. This is to generate optimal benefits to the society at large. A service in this nature will count towards our professional aspirations and serve as public good for members of our society. Sustainable economic development strategies should focus the attention of actions of industries, political leaders, the business community, and the general public to the most cost-effective methods of promoting renewable energy and clean technologies, protecting the environment, and preventing harmful impacts from climate change while achieving their economic benefit. It is important to explore local and indigenous methods of conducting economic activities in such a way as to protect the environment for collective good, whilst adopting modern technological innovation and resource use efficiency to grow our economies, improve the standards of living, and expand businesses, jobs, and incomes of our nations and citizens. It is obvious, Mr. Chairman, in our current global and regional development frameworks that we cannot ignore the role of environmental education to achieve sustainable economic development. It is in our interest as sub-Saharan countries to make conscious and deliberate efforts to integrate environmental education into our economic development agenda. This will help reduce the excessive destruction of our water resources, marine pollution, forest degradation, loss of biodiversity and ecosystem destruction, plastic pollution, soil degradation, economic losses, poverty, and inequalities in our societies. Yes, we have become more vulnerable to the impact of climate change. However, we can deal with adaptation and mitigation measures appropriately to be developing environmentally aware or literate societies with positive attitudes of taking little but important steps in halting the drivers of climate change. Environmentally aware and willing populace will help as members of the society will appreciate their roles in sustainable use of environmental and natural resources for sustainable economic development. Of course, implementation activities to achieve the sustainable development goals, which ultimately will result in sustainable economic development, will indeed require environmental education as a cross-cutting issue. Specifically, Goal 4, to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Goal 12, responsible consumption and production. And Goal 13, take urgent steps to combat climate change and its impact, among others. Now, this year's conference is apt in mobilizing global, regional, and national consensus to chart a sustainable path for developing our economies in the ECOWAS and African region and the world as a whole, based on research. My expectations of this conference are that presentations of researchers will focus on the various approaches that we can adopt to effectively educate our communities on environmental matters, integrating environmental education and sustainable economic development, relevant information in educational materials and curriculum, models to bring the business community along the change to sustainable economic development paradigm, success stories on environmental education and sustainable economic development, use of local and indigenous sustainable technologies for industrial production. I hope the conference will be engaging and educative that will help to improve the quality of papers to be presented to inform policy and future research. I wish all participants well. In the spirit of Wazobia, Mr. Chairman, let me say Eshe Nagode Imela. I thank you for your audience. God bless you. I thank you for your audience.
Let's put our hands together and answer this for the first. To ask questions, and we'll follow the schedule. But we are moving to and that's the main paper presentation, which will be delivered by Professor Pino and while we get ready to take Dr. Pino Ajita to the microphone as she takes the citation of Professor Pino. We are privileged to have Vice Chancellors in this conference. So another Vice Chancellor is coming again to take a lecture. Let's have a slide.
Professor Obi Adekule, Professor Olufemi Victor Adekule, a professor of educational technology, was born on 5th March 1965. He's a chief advocate. He had bachelor's in history education, master in educational technology, a professional and PhD in curriculum and instruction. He started his lectureship at the College of Education in 1989, and he joined the Ekiti State University, then Ondo State University in 1990. He rose through the ranks to become a professor in 2009, and he delivered his inaugural lecture titled Learning Problems and Technology of Education on the 5th March 2013. Professor Adekule has 75 publications to his credit. He has presented 2 keynote addresses, an annual lecture, and 4 lead papers at academic conferences. He is also a 2-time guest lecturer at the World Saturday Celebration in Ekiti State. He has also successfully supervised 20 PhD candidates and 2 master candidates in the field of educational technology, and social studies. He is also external moderator and examiner to 7 colleges of education and 12 universities, including the University of KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa, for the moderation of national degree examination, MPhil, as well as assessment of publications for staff promotion cases. In the university system, I've been a member of more than 90 boards and committees, 45 of which he was the chairman. He was head of department 3 times, assistant director of standards program, and also sub-dean of the faculty of education. He was appointed the deputy vice chancellor in development in 2014 and held that position for 2 years. He was vice chancellor of the university between September 1929 to 2015. arena in the University campus, and he has replicated the same gesture at Bandele Olubiowa University of Science and Technology campus. He was also, in 2017, a visiting professor at ADEKUNLE University at Bago, where the Department of Vocational and Technical Education to attain full accreditation of its program. Professor Adekunle visited Zambia, Ghana, United Arab Emirates, and United Kingdom. He has received several commendations and awards from bodies within and outside the university. He has also been a member of the Governing Council representing the State University and Low East. He was appointed Provost of College of Education in Ekiti in September 2019, a position he held until he became the Vice Chancellor of Bandele University of Education, Science and Technology in Ekiti on 6 January 2021. His father, Adekunle, will have 3 sons. I have that.
So, the leader lecture of Professor Adekunle, I want to welcome to the microphone Dr. Robin. Please put your hands together as he delivers the lecture.
Good morning to everyone of us here. Good morning. On behalf of our distinguished and erudite professor of substance, Professor Adekunle, the Vice Chancellor of the Special and Unique University in the State, Bandele University of Education, Science and Technology, Ekiti. I'm here to represent you to give a lead paper at the second international conference of the Faculty of Education at ADEKUNLE on 14th June 2024. The Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Administration, then the Faculty of Education, all of the 6 professors present, all the dignitaries present, and all the participants. The lead paper to be presented is titled Security, Economy, and Education, Needs for National Development. To start with, Nigeria as a country, one of the countries, and one of the 3rd world countries, has come a long way. Right from independence to this time, which is already 63 years, we want to let us know that Nigeria has a lot of nationalities. And these nationalities have made funky efforts to take what they understood then as development in our various communities, providing food security, territorial integrity, healthy population, and standard of living the ways they knew it. However, all these were what they believed to actually improve their standard of living as they understood it then. Right from Oyo Empire, Benin Kingdom, the Hausa Bukwan, and the stateless societies, the East. All these communities stood together and always provided for themselves and gone about their businesses, even without any conscious of national integration. Yet, they were brought together through the activities of imperialists and renaissance. Having found themselves together, the process of nation building and national development began, and there were also some struggles aimed at harnessing these resources of the country to better develop some components, according to Dixon and also 2016. Next slide. At this junction, we need to understand the concept of greater life. Nigeria has now developed to the point where the citizens have only known the purpose of the possibilities of good living, but have always demanded for it. Central to the provision of this is the end of the economy, which has always been a source of concern to many as Nigerians. This is because aspects of the lives of the people, be it in health, security, education, food security, as well as the availability of jobs to do. In addition, the proliferation of these are regarded as fatal to many Nigerians, and the inadequacy of these seems to have made many, especially young people, relocate to other countries where they hope to find themselves adequately provided. And this is called Japa. This has become the order of the day. And I know the listeners will understand this has become a serious issue in our society. The provision of these are regarded as what? Better. They provided that this is what we call this issue of unexpected relocation of people, migration of people from our dear country that is expected to flow with big and money to other countries doing some jobs that are not commensurate with their qualifications and their skill. This makes it necessary to examine Nigeria's national development. The importance of national development. Next slide, please. To address the importance of national development, the federal government of Nigeria released the National Development Plan 2021-2023, which aims at tackling the challenges of insecurity, law, and fragile economic growth, weak institutions, insufficient public service delivery, notable infrastructural deficits, climate change, and weak social engagement. This came out of a review of initial vision 2020, and the economic recovery program. This depicts the federal government of Nigeria's readiness to provide better living standards for the people. And government has identified certain indices instrumental to this better living, as listed earlier. However, it has become imperative to explain some of the common indices that we need for national development. And then we have what we call the gross domestic product, GDP, of the country. GDP measures the monetary value produced in the country in a given period of time. It counts all the outputs generated within the borders of the country, according to Code 2020. Another index of national development is what we call gross national product. This measures the monetary value of all the finished goods and services produced by the country's factors of production. It is the gross domestic product to which the net factor income from abroad is added. That's what index of national development is what we call gross national product, GNP, which is all of the country's final income in a year divided by its population. This reflects the average workers' income at a country's citizens. Without using words, development could be regarded as a process of providing the improving our quality of human life in which any society. This includes upgrading the standard of living in the provision of food, a clean environment, housing, education, health services, environment. It also includes ensuring systems that make the citizens in various matters affecting their lives. Not this improves the quality of life of the citizens. The standard of the citizens and may alter from a country to country. Certain indices have yet been identified which are also measure which are also determine the national development of the country. Among them, we have according to World Bank, we have life expectancy rate, we have birth rate, we have death rate, and other indicators are Human Development Index. We also have infant mortality rate as another index to measure national development. reasons have been given to other indicators, such as literacy rates. One, higher literacy is expected to improve national development as it enhances the skills of the workforce, which make them work better to satisfy their needs and grow the economy. Another one is employment. Employment is also an important index as it provides purchasing power for individuals and generates income for families, thereby improving the quality of life. What of gender equality? As the imbalance and deprivations in this part of national life promotes utilization of about half of the potential workforce, gender balanced representation is necessary for enhancing development. Education as catalyst for national development. Recently, education is a catalyst for national development. The reason being that education trains the mind, it expands one's worldview and makes one a positive contributor to the development of his environment. When it becomes functional, it ensures that the person fully realizes potential in all ways. It is cognitive domain, or psychomotor domain. And this makes such an individual positive participant of his environment and his nation in general. Education, therefore, can be regarded as basic to the development of any nation. Apart from its role in human capital development, in every phase of a nation's policy, it has been observed that no nation can rise above the level of education. Education enhances productivity, it encourages social and good relationships, and it makes good citizenship possible and brings about the knowledge for better living. With education, moral values and social consciousness are developed, and this sustains a nation, and is also instrumental to economic and political development. Unfortunately, over the years, education has been neglected in education seems to have allocation that goes to education without missing words. You will agree with me that education has been neglected in Nigeria. As it stands, it appears that basic and secondary education have been predominantly left in the hands of entrepreneurs, and tertiary has also covertly been prepared for that. Moreover, there have been inconsistencies in education policies in the past few years. These have affected the curriculum, and these have taught how to security of education system, which is supposed to help the people now and the people much as now that was exactly part of the intention of the free form education system. That is vocational education, for which the government are accorded grossly inadequate funds to implement. If that had been adequately implemented, perhaps Nigeria would not have become this insecure as it is today. All this make the attainment of national development a difficult task. We want to look at the trend of education funding in Nigeria over the years. This trend indicates that the allocation to education by the federal government of Nigeria has been highly unstable and quickly declining. The results showed that from UNESCO, that is United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, that only 7% of our nation's budget each year, on average, goes to education, as against 26% that was recommended by UNESCO. However, in a decade, the highest budget allocated in percentage of education was in 2014, with 9.9%, while the lowest in percent was in 2022 with 5.39% of the total budgets. However, in 2023, there was slight improvement in budgetary allocation to the education sector, as it is shown on the screen in the next slide. And you can see that from 2009 to 2018. If you find the mean of the years that were captured here, we discover that it is just 7% of the total budget, which is too far from 8% recommended by UNESCO. And if we continue in this line, if this trend continues, development will be a mirage in Nigeria. Then, the trend of education funding in Nigeria. Okay, having said that, we have to look at the assessment of budget allocation of education in Nigeria. Next slide, after that. Let's look at challenges. These are not focus on challenges in Nigeria. As education is headed as a public good, and this national development in Nigeria, and the measure of financial system, therefore, education is the correct list. And it was from government and communication to the people. This is our past. And the government that will take the nation to its next level of development. Considering the explosion of the demand for the education sector, particularly higher education. As it has been said earlier, according to UNESCO 2022, it noted that Nigeria has 20.2 million children and youth out of school. This figure is high and significant, the highest in Africa. Unfortunately, they are global, all over the world. This underfunding has remained the bane of the Nigerian educational system. In the same way, we want to look at the menace of examination practices in Nigeria, how it has affected our education. This menace is as well a power that makes national development difficult to attain using education. It has become common knowledge that most public school examinations conducted in Nigeria have been labeled with irregularities and maladministration. Mercenaries are either employed to impersonate candidates and write on their behalf, or teachers are outrightly used to write answers on the board for the candidates. Unfortunately, this exists even at primary school level, which is foundation for proper education. If the substructure is faulty, certainly nothing can be built. Something cannot be built on nothing, as we all know it. Therefore, today, those who do not know the meaning of NYSC is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. The organization which enlisted them is unfortunate. Doctors who may not be allowed to treat relatives of their patients unless the latter are not aware, and the counselors who rather need more counseling than the counselees. Making the matter worse is the fact that Nigerian society is full of parents who are regarded by many as unbelievable. This was a lot of the programs which we still run in our tertiary institutions are no more directly relevant to the challenges faced by the nation. Nigeria needs more of technologists, technicians, technocrats, engineers, and artisans to show up the middle level manpower and to enhance the opportunity for technology transfer, which is so much needed to develop our dear nation. The programs that lead to these are not adequately funded in our tertiary institutions, and those institutions still parade the theory-based and liberal programs, which, though train the mind, but hands-on training that can lead the recipient to direct productivity. The purpose of security. Simply put, security may be regarded as a state of being safe and not being threatened physically, psychologically, financially, or emotionally in any way. It is also the ability of an individual to realize his or her potentials without any hindrance or obstacle. It therefore goes without saying that security is relevant and explains various aspects of our lives. If national development be attained, there must be food security, personal security, religious security, marital security, national security, environmental security, health security, financial security, social security, cyber security. It is also commonplace that everyone has a measure of security consciousness, at least in Nigeria. That's why everyone has a lock on the door of his wall or her house. Incidents of insecurity in Nigeria over the years. Nigeria, as we stand today, is affected significantly with incidents of insecurity almost all over the country, with the greatest stress around the northwest, northeast, and the south-south. These incidents of insecurity have hindered a lot of business trips as well as farming activities and endeavors. Many farmers have stopped their farms for the fear of bandits or accident attacks. This has affected our food security, and this one has significant impact on the security of life and properties, and by extension, the realization of any population, which is part of the requirements for national development. So also, many businessmen be kidnapped on their journeys and get a lot of businesses and businessmen and women limit the distance they travel in order to get goods, which has further led to hike in price of goods and services. The significance of security. It goes without saying that security of lives and properties is fundamental to the development of any nation. Now, the requirements for national development can be satisfactorily attained without a conscious attention to security. The security question has a intractable posture in the Nigerian polity. As it stands today, not many Nigerian roads are safe without the fear of kidnapping. Not many farms are easy to invest in without the fear of accidents attack. Not many villages in northern Nigeria are easy to live in without the fear of attack from the bandits. And not many workers in the south are easy to save without the fear of militant attacks. What would have led to all this? According to the 2019, it pushes this way. The root causes of the root causes at the doorstep of high rate of unemployment, poor leadership, porous borders, proliferation of arms, illiteracy, political desperation, and weak judicial system are the causes of insecurity in Nigeria. Next slide. Okay. This one reflects the chronology of defense, that is security budget and spending in Nigeria, 1999 to 2019. If you have a glance, if you take a glance or have a close look of this, you will discover that the percentage of defense of security spending of budget is highly insignificant, ranging from 0.86% to 0.51% from year to year, which is not significant. However, this slide shows the budgetary allocation to security or defense between 2010 and 2019. If you look at it again, it is not significant. It's between 2010 2010, we have 0.54%, up to 2019, 0.3%. Causal factors increased health and security despite good budgetary allocations and military spending in Nigeria. When we are talking about right now, having carried out comprehensive analysis of what goes to education and what goes to security, we find that when in terms of trillions, fortunately, in 2023 budget, 2.98 trillion naira was allocated to defense of the sector. That should be 30.4% of the total budget. There was significant improvement in what was allocated to defense and security sector. Unfortunately, this has not translated to security in Nigeria. Surprisingly, it is evident that in 2010 to 2019, unavoidably witnessed an upward increase compared to the period before it, even up to 2023. All these budgetary allocations and spending in Nigeria, they are mere
resources committed to security and defense have become a medium through which some politicians reach themselves. What value? Corruption has been one of the major bans of insecurity in Nigeria due to the diversion of public resources. Unfortunately, many Nigerian military personnel, such as other helps, have enriched themselves through diversion of funds meant to fight terror and insecurity in the country. The Nigerian military budget appears to have corporate expenditure items and budgets but they are earmarked for fighting the terrorists or the battlefield will be diverted to buy these stationaries and furnishing. This misallocation or non-allocation of such funds to where they are not needed have led to what we can call mismatch performance in the defense and security sector. Unequipped soldiers have led people in ambushes or have simply fled the battlefield with superior firepower and equipment of the terror group Boko Haram. While payments are not made to the soldiers and the piece of benefit, there is duplication of expeditions using enemies by the this cuts across most of the institutions under the Ministry of Defense. For instance, only 5.4 million naira would have been spent on office maintenance, but this maintenance was duplicated into 4 sub-categories, thereby using the opportunity to siphon or embezzle the funds. In same way, the budgetary allocations to the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force were all reflected using the in 2015, 2016, 2017, and 2018, respectively. In budgets where they appeared, they are assigned to the amount of money actually needed to face the multi-sector challenges in the country, but diverted for personal use in the long run. The base which allowed us to remain in this state of insecurity is primarily among the military forces. Another one is poor leadership and absence of good governance, corruption, and bad leadership. According to October 2021, that organized insecurity in Nigeria begins as private army of thugs will be used by politicians mainly to rig elections. After such aside and left alone, having been trained, treated, and protected with legal this has been another cause of insecurity in Nigeria. During the elections, some politicians will be hired with us and they will be equipped with firearms. When the elections are over, they are left alone as a sort of then they become terrorists. Because they have been empowered, they have been equipped with legal backing in court. For what else to do, they take to crimes. They have the ammunition with them, they have their firearms with them. They are left with what to do, and they take to crimes. So, we need to look at another component of this nexus. We should not forget about security, education, security, economy, and education nexus for national development. And this discussion, I think, needs to be rejigged. And this is the concept of rejigging the economy. The head of a nation's economy obviously has a direct and significant relationship with its national development. The economy comprises the various sectors of productive activities in the country, which include the primary sector, which is basically agriculture, the secondary sector, which focuses on manufacturing, and the services sector, which includes commerce, hospitality, trade, entertainment, and others. The values of all these constitute in total the gross domestic product of the country when they are added over a period of time. Development is a sustained enhancement in the material well-being of the country, and this has a clear impact on national development. This is because it includes the growth of the GDP over the time added to influence the product quality of education, and research, more equitable distribution of income. All these, when they are added together, they can assist to rejig the economy. Government can increase consumer spending and investment through low interest rates and also ensure increased real wage. Government also needs to encourage research and innovation, as well as make concerted and deliberate efforts to provide necessary infrastructure, electricity, and good roads, which will be catalysts to production activities. At this junction, it's pertinent to say that the importation of goods which can easily be produced in Nigeria, or those which we can easily do without, should be banned. This will encourage demand for goods, and this will lead to increased productivity and better living. Moreover, petroleum products are central to economic activities in Nigeria. I know this will interest us with the recent petrol, which is popularly known as petrol, is PMS, Premium Motor Spirit. Many economic activities will be affected, and the purchasing power of the citizens will be reduced. This is what we are experiencing currently. As I see in this auditorium, we bear witness that subsidy removal has significant impact on our wage and our purchasing power without missing words. Since there is government needs to repair the faulty refineries of lease and private concerns, so that the tendency to have increase in prices of goods and services. This government also takes steps to the effects of fuel subsidy removal through provision of means of transportation to control arbitrary price by transporters, increase in waste, and other workable palliatives. The standard of living of Nigerians may not stand, and this does not augur well for national development. The removal of subsidy regime has hitherto been implemented in the oil sector. I want to say it is in the right direction, but the government must put palliatives in place to reduce transportation and the cost of doing business in the country. The government must also set out to rehabilitate the dedicated refineries in the country. Nigeria needs to remind the citizens of its age-long values and also make frank efforts to censor the undesirable content allowed in social media and the films which show youth and children in the country. The necessary measures for desired development. When we work towards national development, there is always the need for a healthy interaction among security, economy, and education, which are necessary ingredients to attaining such. It is with education that human capital capacity of the country is grown. With a comprehensive, robust, and right kind of education, well thought out and administered, the whole course of the country will be highly knowledgeable, innovative, and effective. This will affect every facet of life in the country. The products of the schools will not be unemployable, but will be innovative enough to develop production and business concerns that will not only provide employment for themselves, but also for others, and contribute meaningfully to the development of our country. If the government focuses attention on economic growth and development, and also ensure the use of necessary infrastructure like electricity, iron and steel, adequate network of good roads, rural development, availability of petroleum products, and establishment of strong institutions, the business environment of Nigeria will be friendly. There will be enough jobs for the citizens, and their purchasing power will rise. All these are needed to ensure a robust national development. When there are enough jobs for people and tertiary institutions are well funded, then crime will reduce in our society. Most people today are into crimes partly due to poverty, unemployment, and inadequate censorship of the social media content infiltrating the country. When they now have a reward for the indulgence, it then becomes an organized crime, a pastime for them. All this end up in insecurity for the nation, which in turn affects other activities of life in the country, a situation which appears like a vicious circle. Nigeria therefore needs to strengthen agriculture and encourage the children and the youth to have respect for the dignity of labor. All the values that used to be taught in the elementary schools in the past in the school subjects, only these are in place can we expect the desired national development. Endemic challenges of national development in Nigeria. By all standards, Nigeria has the potential of being a great nation. It has context to develop in all the areas that make for economic growth and development, as well as national development. These areas include development, security, manufacturing, business environment, women, and gender equality. All of that, poverty, alleviation, agriculture, good governance, clean environment, and food security among others. Government has always attempted to chart a way forward in seeing to necessary development through the national development plans. The message of these has, however, been affected with challenges, corruption, and cheap challenges. It has eaten so deep into the fabrics of the Nigerian system and has made development a task. It has permeated the whole system so much that it is even defended. Many times citizens who sometimes seem to have lost the consciousness of its evil impacts. In certain business environments and public institutions, it has become so entrenched that it will also go for an institution. From the administration of the subsidy regime in the white sector to that of quota system and so-called federal character, the political terrain, production and administration of drugs, proliferation of fake products, and enforcement of law and order, corrupt cities have deflated what remains of the integrity of our national development. Highlighting the effects of menace of corruption, Nigeria 2022 observed that it wipes out jobs, inflates prices of goods and services, increases the mortality rate, drains economic resources, deepens poverty level, prevents values, and creates a bad image of the country. Other challenges of national development include the absence of necessary data needed to plan. Even the population is not known as at present. How then can one be accurate about the number of out-of-school children, citizens in active poverty, homeless Nigerians, sick people, unemployed graduates, and others? Without data like this, it is difficult to plan, let alone implementing the plans properly and adequately. Moreover, priorities have been misplaced over the years. Budget allocations for education have been nothing to write home about, as earlier stated. Focus has been on expenses over issues that have less priority and poorly administered. The example of this can be given as in the case of National Identity Card project. The necessary measures for desired development. Now, if government focuses attention on economic growth, and education and security, definitely national development will be achieved. In conclusion, attempt has been made in this paper to explain the relevance of security, economy, and education to development, as well as how the interactions among them can lead to the desired national development. These three are related, and attention to one of them normally affects the health of the other. If Nigeria has to take attention and take its rightful position in the Committee of Nations, adequate attention must be paid to these components of governments for national development. In the light of this, the following recommendations are hereby made. Government, as a matter of urgency, pay adequate attention to education, especially what is called STEM education. That is, education that involves science, technology, engineering, the arts, mathematics, and innovation. This must be done through adequate funding, a functional curriculum, monitoring, and evaluation. Nigeria also needs to come to the free aspect of the 6-3-3-4 educational system as planned and as planned. And at the same time, strengthening the technical schools existing while creating more and adequately equipping them to support innovation and the technical development that is so much needed in Nigeria. Thank you for listening.
Very round of applause for Dr. Thank you very much for that beautiful big paper presentation on behalf of our very own Professor Biko. save some time, and that will be at our advantage. Before we take our questions, while the lecture was on, we are getting out very professors and heads of the department. First among them, the immediate capacity of education. It's my pleasure to welcome Professor Eli Ayomani. Please put your hands together. Welcome. We introduce to you heads of the department here present. A number of them have been introduced before now. I want to welcome the head of the department of science education, Dr. Ian Nale. Please put your hands together for her. Dr. Nale, please. Can you please stand for recognition? Let's put our hands together. We also have in our midst another head of department, adult education, Dr. Francis. Most welcome, sir. Let's put our hands together for the head of department, vocational and technical education, Dr. Bibo. Welcome. We also have in our midst the head of department, social science education, Dr. Meso Kadaba. Dr. Kadaba, please step out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take our questions. We have a lead paper presenter, we also have a keynote speaker. We have done justice of some would like to ask questions. I want to welcome to moderate this session our Professor Judah Domanafe, as he moderates the question.
Thank you so much. Since I welcome us to this second international conference for the success that we have recorded so far. I want to appreciate the two presenters, and the first person was Professor Eric Yako Samson from the University of Environmental and Sustainable Development, Sumaya, Eastern Region, Ghana, Vice Chancellor of the University. He presented the keynote address entitled Environmental Education and Sustainable Economic Development. Know that we enjoyed the presentation and gained from the presentation. Also, thank you so much. And the second presentation, the lead paper, presented by Professor Vio Adekunle, Vice Chancellor of the University, entitled Security, Economy, and Education for National Development. Challenges that are facing and be highlighted, and also the recommendations on how to overcome the is online. If it's not there, you can also assist us to answer some questions. Then the representative of Professor Adewa is here. Now, we want to ask our questions. To answer the question, please. Yes, thank you. Dr. Motoibo from the Faculty of Arts. Faculty of Education, Department of Arts. Thank you. Arts Education. Okay, please, Professor Dr. Motoibo, Education, Department of Arts Education. Would you please, your question, identify the person you want to address?
The first question for the Ghana. I don't know, but I want to ask, is the consistency in our educational policies possible? They have one in school. But after that, one will go to the secondary school, or even before the preparation to the secondary school. They go to the 3 years. Then later, gradually, we change to this system. And the system is now evaded little by little. So this inconsistency, I think, is causing a lot of problems for our development education in Nigeria. So I want to see if I have that's the first question.
You want to see what?
In fact. The number 2 is our professor from the advocate. I mean, parents, God bless you. In response of his presentation, he seeks to abide by the sorts of questions in Nigeria. Well, the person not against it. But I want to ask, there is something don't you think so, that it would have been so, not so much scrupulously heartbreaking and destruction? If during the process of the subsidy removal and the thought about it, palliatives are already in place. But it is serious, and it's after the removal of the subsidy, and when people are dying here and there, crying there, or people here and there, the rapid here and there, it is that the government will rise up and say, now we have a palliative. And many people are dying.
Thank you so much, Dr. Other questions, please. Any other question? Okay, Mr. Arina, from the Faculty of Education.
My first question goes to the first paper I presented. The question goes thus: can't there be a good model that will promote economic education globally? The question goes to the second paper. With the 2.2 million children in Nigeria, I want to ask, is there any stable security participation per citizen in Nigeria? And is there any reasonable teachers or lecturers ratio per students?
I realized that it has been a perennial issue in Nigeria to talk about this UNESCO recommendation 26.6 for education budget. And if you go into the memory lane, one will realize that in the past 10 years, it has table. I think I have that table as well. I presented somewhere not quite long ago. Now, all these our rhetorics and talking about this UNESCO recommendation, and there is no talk from the federal government concerning increase in education budget. And there are cases where we have professionals as ministers of education, special advisor, minister of state, and all the rest. I don't know what can be done so that we continue in these rhetorics and continue to talk about this UNESCO recommendation and this under budgeting for education. Thank you very much.
Please, let us give the microphone to, okay? Let's give the microphone to the representative of Professor Adolo. Okay, please, guys, someone to ask a question. Let them be last.
My name is Solomon. My question goes to thanks for sharing the report. My question goes to the second presenter. I mean, Professor graduates, first century skills that will make them employable and train them for knowledge-based economy. So I want to ask, is that not part of measures for that national?
Listen to the representative of Professor Adekunle as he responds to our questions.
Thank you. I will start by addressing the issue of removal of oil subsidy, as was rightly pointed out by one of the participants. The issue of the removal of oil subsidy, it is something that is long overdue. It's something that is long overdue. We don't need to deceive ourselves. This whole subsidy regime has become a scam in Nigeria. You recall that when the former president was making his campaign, their promises, he said that the first thing he would remove when he got to the office there was subsidy. He said it, and you recall that during the former president Goodluck Jonathan's regime, he announced the removal of subsidy. That led to nationwide protests. Many of us are living witnesses today. This issue of oil subsidy is a scam, and trillion of naira is being siphoned. This so-called subsidy. Most of the that are being imported into this country, when they are subsidized by the government, by application, we are expected to buy it at subsidized, reduced rate. Will not buy it. Unfortunately, because this fuel has been subsidized, some of these governments will store it out of the country to the neighboring countries like the Republic, Niger, Republic, and so on and so forth. It's like we are wasting enormous resources on what we call a scam. And if you look at the major players in oil and gas sector, they understand this scam. So-called independent marketers, they have no oil they import. All they receive is just alert. Without working for anything, without anything. Facts and figures to support this. So if this trend continues, as a country, we never experience improved standard of living. We never experience it. And cost of living is more rising, and government will keep on wasting resources. Because this has become a kind of leaking purse to our government, our finance in Nigeria. This has become a medium through which they siphon our resources as a nation. And we cannot continue to waste trillions of naira on scam. I think it is long overdue. The question you asked, I think is very rational and it needs to be addressed. The issue of putting palliatives in place before the removal of subsidy. Thank you, sir. Initially, I belonged to that school of thought, but later on had to change simply because this man, this new president, we pray that God will help him to succeed. He needs to help this country. And right from day one, when he was making his inaugural speech, the first thing he mentioned was what? He said the regime of subsidy is gone forever. He said it. Unfortunately, I wanted to assist my wife to start, and the car would not start. I thought that it was as a result of shortage of fuel. A few minutes after the announcement was made, I had to take a container with my car to go to fuel to filling station. On getting there, I began to experience a few minutes after. So I was thinking of buying maybe fuel of about 3,000 naira to start the car. I said, please, I will buy 5,000 naira. demand that was said, the defendant demanded for charges. Cash. I was there with my ATM card. I said, don't worry, deduct your charges. I paid 5,100 naira for liters for import. Now, what is the correlation between the announcement that was made by the president and solid high in PMS pump price? Most of the fuel that we bought shortly after the announcement was made will be regarded as what? Subsidized fuel. So this will further tell us that it is what? A scam. We don't need to do this. And if the president had not taken that action right from the day he was sworn in, some cabals, some connivers, and conspirators might have won. Maybe shocking him. They would have allowed him from what? From implementing it. Because they know they benefit from it. Why promised to remove it? He couldn't remove it for 48 years. He couldn't remove it because this thing has become a scam. It is a medium for them to enrich their pockets. And if he had allowed the cabinet report, after appointing the minister of petroleum or whatever, they would forbid him not to remove it. And look at the immediate surge or hike in PMS the following day. You know, NFPC came up with a template. The minimum benchmark to be 500 naira per litre, depending on the distance. So now, can we say that NFPC is telling us that those fuel already were subsidized? If we look at the subsidy, if you had the landing cost, or whatever subsidy that was added to the available fuel then, it should be in the neighborhood of 400 naira plus. What led to 500 naira? That will tell us that there's something there that needs to be investigated. So, at the same time, the government has promised to put in place palliatives to this unnecessary action. Because before we could get here today, what it cost us to fuel our car to this place. I know it is just for a while. Let us just endure for a while. So that this problem will be stopped once and for all. But I know this government has promised to put in place palliatives. So let us keep on alive. Thank you. I think, thank you, sir. So then another question came up as regards high percentage of students out of school, which has been a concern to us as a nation. This one, you recall that during the regime of former President Jonathan, he established what we call schools in the north, and this assisted a lot to reduce the rate of number of students out of school. And what we can recommend is that this administration should keep it up. Then another question has to do with student-teacher ratio. Student-teacher ratio. That what is student-teacher ratio? What can we say about that? As all of us are academics, according to NUC, National Universities Commission, this is Faculty of Education. Our student-teacher ratio 1 to 30. I think I'm right. It's 1 to 30. In Faculty of the Social Sciences, it's also ratio 1 to 30 because of the nature of our profession, of our programs. So we encourage those students because we don't need some facilities like laboratories, studios, and so on and so forth, for us to teach our students, for us to impart knowledge. But when it comes to engineering, when it comes to science, pure and applied science, I think the ratio is 1 to 15. 1 lecturer to 15 students. So any program that is technologically based is 1 to 15. So that's about student-teacher ratio according to NUC standard. Then a question came up on 6334 educational system, and my sister that asked the question, I want to put it straight to you that age, when it comes to 6334, the 6 there does not represent age. It has to do with 6 years of primary education. That is what that C stands for, represents there. Then the next 3 has to be basic in the course of the presentation, we made reference to an acronym, STEAM education, and the S here has to do with science. So science, T there represents technology, education that can make our youth employable. And at the same time, we need to do something about examination malpractice. In the course of the presentation, we emphasized that we need to look at that also. Because in the situation where you have a graduate,
you have the program of the prior sessions with you soft copy. If you don't have it, we can direct that to you. Please check where your name falls and you will report in that room for your session. We shall resume by the grace of God 9:50 a.m. tomorrow morning for 2 keynote addresses. This will be delivered by our very esteemed professors here in this university. We will meet here at 9:50 a.m. this venue for the keynote addresses by Professor Daramola and Professor Michelle. We will reconvene again for our technical sessions like we are just going to do today. I need to inform you that certificates of participation will be issued immediately after you have made your presentation, and this will only be given to people that make presentation. If you are not making presentation, you will not be issued a certificate, but if you decide to do so, in case you have co-authored the paper and you are not presenting, you pay additional 5,000 naira to get that certificate. Lunch will be served at the Faculty of Education. We have a restaurant there. You just have to enter into the faculty. At 2:20, please keep to that time. 2:20 to 2:45, we start lunch. At 2:45, the parallel sessions will start. Please, let's be mindful of this time. We still have some few times to go from here to there. We need to announce that our rapporteurs that will be engaged Dr. Adekolo, Dr. Abi, and Dr. Mali, as well as Dr. Aye. These 6 people will be issuing your certificates to you today, and tomorrow some other sets of rapporteurs will be announced at this joint session to take of all that we do. Please, every presenter will be required to submit 2 hard copies of your paper for secretariat, and it's on that your time paper boldly written on that copy, and that's where your certificate. Please set we have outside there we have a number of people. Those of us who are from other universities, we do well to go home with some of these journals for your publication. The prices we have 2 books of proceedings. 1 book of proceedings in 2 volumes. One is already out, and that gives us for people that sent their papers before 2 days ago. And before Friday, those papers will be vetted and come on the 2nd volume of this book of proceedings. Before Friday, everybody will have an electronic copy in your mails. Please ensure that the mails you are giving to us are very correct. You may want to check for those mails. We have the link for this meeting. It's a blended conference, and some of us have difficulty communicating. We have the day 1 is off now, so as we speak, some people are tomorrow